responsibility. But, back to your character, the journey that he takes from, like we said, hardened atheist who doesn't really believe in anything, based upon a truly traumatic experience of losing his child, to then finding his way back home.
Well,
it's.
I have to make a distinction. He's not an atheist because he lost his child.
So correct me.
And,
Fine.
And
Kevin, is this what it's like for you too?
Let's not give away the whole movie here.
I'm not going to give away the whole movie, and believe me, you have to see the journey. I think that's the most important thing.
One of the themes in the movie that we deal with is fatherhood and the role of fatherhood, and I think that's partly why we tested the movie a couple times, and the test results always came back the same. Women love the movie, men love it more, and that surprised us because it's a drama. You would think this is much more of a woman's film, but in fact, the men, I think, because I talked to some of them, and it just makes sense. The men really resonated with this idea that, here's a guy who he's a father, but he's walked away from his family, and divorced his wife, and he's trying to still be dad to the kids, but he's not succeeding very well, and he's basically been relegated to the paycheck, to the alimony, the child support, and he's struggling with that. And a lot of men, I think, in our culture are struggling with this idea that the father has been sidelined, that women can do it all and have it all, and they don't need men. And that's just a fallacy, and we shouldn't be, running down that rabbit hole as a culture. And so guys really, I think they see themselves in this movie, and it's a lovely thing to see, because the movie eventually just upholds the role of fatherhood, and also, of course, the role of the father, because, there's a reflection there that we can't mistake either.
It's a great message, especially in this day and age. And, I hope it reaches a lot of communities, especially here in the People's Republic of New York, as I like to call it, because there are so many families that are broken where fatherhood is non-existent. And I'm helping to raise my sister. Sam knows this. I've been helping to raise my sister's kid because his father is not around, and it's one of those things where it's so important to have that male figure in your life. And if this movie brings about that change, and we're talking about Let There Be Light with Kevin and Sam Sorbo, check it out at lettherebelightmovie.com, and of course it's also on Facebook, and follow it. It's coming out October 27th.
If you go to Facebook, go to LTBL Film, and you'll see we just posted a couple days ago the new trailer of people's reactions as they come out of the theater.
Absolutely, we're going to put it up on our website as well.
Yeah, thank you. It's really sort of transformational. There's redemption, there's forgiveness. Those things exist, and we just have to go in search of them. And that's really the overarching message of this movie.
Yeah, especially in this day and age, Kevin and Sam, with so much divisiveness, just in the family level, in political lives, in professional life, it seems to be everywhere that there's a deepening divide that really needs a healing.
Yes, and that healing and that hope exists. We just have to tap into it. We have to choose it, right? And that's the message of the movie. I mean, I like to say that for ladies out there, if there's a man in your life, if you have a husband or a brother or a boyfriend or a son, and if there's one film that you take them to for which they will thank you afterwards, this is that movie.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see it myself. I hope, I know that the theater releases are going to be announced soon. I hope we can get it up here in the People's Republic of New York, even though I know that's not the most receptive audience, but whatever, we can maybe try.
Absolutely. No, and those will be published on the website, so you'll be able to find it.
Fantastic.
You'll be able to find the movie, yeah.
It's an amazing project. You guys have really taken this idea of faith films, quote unquote, and have really been delivering it to a more of a mainstream audience, and it's so exciting to see that Hollywood can have a heart and can have a good message and not just be, the divisiveness that we see in the news and in the media. The work that you guys are doing is phenomenal. Thank you so much for doing it. The film is Let There Be Light, directed by Kevin Sorbo, starring Kevin Sorbo, and created, written, produced, and co-starring Sam Sorbo. Absolutely amazing. It's an honor to know and to speak with you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Gene.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Hey folks, I just want to let you know about a great opportunity for listeners of Behind Enemy Lines Radio. If you go to our website, www.behindenemylines.radio.us, and click on the same box ad on the right side of the page, you will get a great opportunity for a discounted offer to join SaneBox. SaneBox filters out all the unimportant email from your inbox so that you can really focus on what matters. If you're anything like me, folks, you get hundreds of pieces of email a day, not many of which is important. SaneBox's smart filter will get everything you need to fly through your inbox and finally make email work for you. It gets rid of spam emails, it deprioritizes emails that aren't as important to you, and it helps you unsubscribe from mailing lists and individual senders with ease. So again, go to www.behindenemylinesradio.us and you click on the SaneBox ad and you'll be given an exclusive offer you won't find anywhere else. Time for a little music. We call this, What the F*** is Maxine Waters Saying?
To be clear, you believe it would have been better to keep in place an FBI director who you said had no credibility to oversee this investigation than to find someone who you think would be a better choice?
No. But I believe the president thought that. Don't forget. You're talking about what some Democrats said, what I said, but don't forget, he was the president. The president supported him. He had confidence in him. It was within his power. And
but you said he had no credibility, so it would seem to make sense that he should get rid of him.
No. Under investigation, this president basically has interfered with an investigation where he may be implicated. That's outrageous, and that's why we're having so much of a conversation about it today.
The bottom line is that you think an FBI director without credibility would have been best served in this position to try to pursue this investigation.
I think if the president had fired him when he first came in, he would not have to be in a position now where he's trying to make up a story about why it does not meet the smell test.
Yeah, something smells all right.
Understood. So if Hillary Clinton had won the White House, would you have recommended that she fire FBI Director James Comey?
Well, let me tell you something. If she had won the White House, I believe that given what he did to her and what he tried to do, she should have fired him.
So she should have fired him, but he shouldn't have fired him. This is why I'm confused.
No, you're not confused.
Yes I am. Gene Baradelli, back behind enemy lines. We've been talking about this culture war that is really heating up in Hollywood now. We see that Hollywood, the left, the liberal side of Hollywood, which I guess is the vast majority side in my opinion, really ratcheting up the rhetoric against Donald Trump. A lot of talk about Nazis, fascists, misogynistic, you name it, they've said it about him. And then you have this other side of Hollywood, which Kevin and Sam Sorbo seem to be representing, at least for purposes of this show. By the way, what a great interview with them. It was so great for them to take a weekend to speak to me about their great movie, Let There Be Light. Comes out October 27th. Check the website, lettherebelightmovie.org, to keep abreast about where it's going to be opening, what theaters it's going to be in. Obviously, independent productions like this, it's a challenge to open up, so if you can go out and support it, it'll be absolutely fantastic. And the reason why it's fantastic to support it is because art should not come in one flavor. When you create art, it should be not directed towards Big Brother or towards a monolithic machine. It should be based towards the individual. And individuals have different tastes. And I believe that there is enough room in Hollywood to meet everybody's tastes. Republicans spend money. They spend money on movies. They spend money on entertainment, on Broadway, believe it or not. They spend money on, different concerts, believe it or not. They spend money on different comedy shows, believe it or not. And the last thing they want to hear when they spend their money at a movie, a theater event, a concert, a comedy show, they don't want to have their politics thrown in their face, or your politics thrown in their face, I should say. They want to be entertained. They want to get away, forget their troubles for a little while, be entertained, be happy for a few fleeting hours, and then return back to their life a little bit better for it. That's what a consumer of, mainstream art, movies, music, all kinds of entertainment that you can think of, comedy, television, theater, that's what they want, ultimately. They want to escape from their life, step into another life, step into a world of music that appeals to them, but they don't want their politics thrown back in their face. And when you do that, you're turning away good money, artists, quote unquote. Just think about what we've seen in the past year. People go to Amy Schumer's show in Florida, and they start walking out and they start booing because she's bringing her politics in their face. People turning off the Emmys because they don't want to hear the anti-Trump nonsense over and over and over again ad nauseum. We want to be entertained. You're allowed to have views if you're an artist. Of course you are. Everyone's allowed to have views. But why are you looking to turn off at least 50% of the market in perpetuating your art so that you can be accepted in your echo chamber of a community, in that bubble that is Hollywood, in that bubble that is movie production and film production and TV production and music production? You see, the problem here is maybe not so much the artist, but it is the directive to keep churning out the same crappy art. Kevin and Sam Sorbo are stepping out on their own, finding their own money to produce a message that they feel is not only important to them, but entertaining. And I get that. I'll be perfectly honest. Faith films may not necessarily be my cup of tea, but I'll watch them because I want to be entertained. I was entertained by God's Not Dead. I'm going to be entertained by Let There Be Light, from all indications that I'm going to see. And if I get a message that resonates with me, so much the better. The beautiful thing about consuming art is I can change the channel, turn the radio station, leave the theater, and move on. That's great. I guess what I'm looking for is I want to see more independence, more individualism, not necessarily more conservative message in art, but I want people to know that there is a market for it, and it would be nice once in a while if you can cater to that market. It doesn't necessarily all have to be social conservative, faith-based, and all this. How about just turning down the rhetoric a little bit? How about, for example, not making Sulu gay in the Star Trek movies? Was that necessary? Is it entertaining? Your guess is as good as mine. I didn't think it added anything to the Star Trek movie. I didn't think it added anything to the Star Trek fabric of films and television. I think it was put in there because there was a message to be put in. Is it great for people of different categories of minority to see, characters on the screen that are like them, quote unquote? Of course it is. But don't just do it to placate, which is what Hollywood seems to do sometimes. Do it to further the story. If you're going to have Sulu be gay, have him be gay and have it drive the character and fit it into the fabric of the storytelling. Don't let it be just a one shot of him arriving back at port to see his lover. What does that do to the story? What does that add to it? What does that do except infuriate people on the right and offend them and keep them away from showing up to a movie theater to see another one of those Star Trek movies? which, by the way, I love. Yeah, I admit it.